Hi Mark, I'm Bella Chen Qianyu. My student number is S0441017. I'm a sophomore at NCUE. Michelle L. Sullivan, asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. We all have milestones in life that we remember so vividly. The first one for me was when I was entering kindergarten. My big brother was in school, and by golly, it was my time. And I went traveling down like the whole way. I was excited. I almost wet myself. And I go to the door, and there was the teacher with a warm welcome. And she took me into a classroom, showed me my little cubby hole. We all remember those little cubby holes, don't we? And we put down our stuff in there. And then she said, "Go over to the circle and play with the kids until class starts." So I went over there and plopped down like I own the place, and I'm playing. And all of a sudden, the boy next to me, he was wearing a white shirt and with blue shorts. I remember it like it was yesterday. Suddenly, he stopped playing and he said, "Why are you so short?" And I just kept playing. I didn't think he was talking to me. Laughter. And in a louder voice, he said, "Hey, why are you so short?" So I looked out and I said, "What are you talking about? Let's just play. We are happy. I've been waiting for this." And so we played. And about a minute later, the girl next to him, in a white shirt and pink skirt, stepped out, put her hands on her hips, and said, "Yeah, why you look so different?" And I went, "What are you talking about? I don't look different. I'm not short again. Let's just play." About this time, I looked all around the circle I was in, and all the kids had stopped playing, and they were all looking at me. And I'm thinking, in today's language, it would be OMG or WTF. Laughter. What just happened? So all the confidence that I went in with that morning was withering away as the morning went on and the questions kept coming. And at the end of the morning, before I went home, the teacher had us in a circle, and I actually found myself outside of the circle. I couldn't look at anybody. I could not understand what just happened. And over the next few years, I hated to go out in public. I felt every stare, every giggle, every pointed finger. Not the finger, but every pointed finger. And I hated. I would hide behind my parents' leg like nobody could see me. And as a child, you can't understand another child's curiosity, nor as adults' ignorance. It became very apparent to me that the real world was not built for someone of my size, both literally or figuratively. And so I have no anonymity, as you can probably tell. And while you can see my size, we all go through many challenges through our lifetime. And some you can see, like mine. Most of you can. You can tell if someone's dealing with a mental illness, or they are struggling with their gender identity. They are caring for an aging parent. They are having financial difficulty. You can see that kind of stuff. So while you can see one of my challenges is my size, seeing does not mean you understand what it is truly to be me on a daily basis, or what I go through. And so I'm here to debunk a myth. I do not believe you can walk in someone else's shoes, and because of that, we must adopt a new way of giving of ourselves. Simply stated, I will never know what it is like to be you, and you will never know what it is like to be me. I cannot face your fears or chase your dreams, and you can't do that for me. But we can be supportive of each other. Instead of trying to walk in each other's shoes, we must adopt a new way of giving of ourselves. I learned at an early age that I did have to do something different than most people, but I different than most people, but I almost learned there were things I was on equal footing with, and one of those was the classroom. Hey, I was equal. As a matter of fact, I excelled in the classroom. This was vitally important. I discovered as I grew older and realized I wasn't going to be able to do a physical job. I needed an education, so I went on and got a university degree. But I failed to be one step ahead of everyone for employment. I needed to have an advanced university degree, so I went ahead and got that. Now, I'm ready for my interview. Remember your first interview? What I'm going to wear, what questions, and don't forget the firm handshake. I was right there with you. So 24 hours before my interview, a friend of mine who I've known all my life called and said, "Michelle, the building you are going in has steps." And she knew I couldn't climb steps, so suddenly my focus changed. In my shoes, I was worried about how am I going to get there. So I went early and found a loading dock and got in and had a great interview. They had no idea what I went through for the day, and that is okay. You're probably thinking my greatest challenge that day was the interview or getting in the building. In reality, my biggest challenge that day was getting through the loading dock without getting run over. I am very vulnerable in certain situations. Airports, hallways, parking lots, loading docks. And so I have to be very careful. I have to anticipate and be flexible and move as quickly as I can sometimes. So I got the job, and in my current role I travel quite a bit. And travel is a challenge for all of us these days. And so you probably get to the airport, run through security, get to the gate. Did I get my airline seat or my window seat? Did I get my upgrade? Me, first of all, I don't run through anything. Laughter. And I especially don't run through the TSA because I get to experience the personal pat down. I won't comment on that. And then I make my way to the gate. And with my gift of gap that my parents said I was born with, I talk to the gate agent, and then I say, "By the way, my scooter weighs this much. I have a dry cell battery, and I can drive it down to the door of the plane." Also, the day before, I had called the city where I'm traveling to find out where I could rent a scooter in case my gas broken on the way. So in my shoes, it's a little bit different. When I get on the plane, I use my gift of Grab to ask a lady to put my bag out, and they graciously do. I try not to eat or drink on plane because I don't want to have to get up and walk on the plane, and nature has its own schedule. And not long ago, it knocked and I answered. So I walked out to the front of the plane and grabbed with a flight attendant and said, "Can you watch the door? I can't reach the lock." So I'm in there doing my business, and the door flies open. And there's a gentleman there with a look of horror on his face. I'm sure I had the same look. As I came out, I noticed that he was sitting right across from me, and he is in total, complete embarrassment. So I walk out to him and I quickly go, "Are you going to remember this as much as I am?" Laughter. And he goes, "I think so." Laughter. Now, while he's probably not talking about it publicly, I am. Laughter. But we talk for the rest of the flight, and we got to know each other. our family, sports, work, and when we landed. And he said, "Michelle, I noticed someone put your bag up. Can I get that for you?" And I said, "Of course, thank you." And we wished each other well, and the most important thing that day was that he was not going to live with the experience of embarrassment. He won't forget it, and neither will I. But I think he will remember more of our chat and our different perspectives. When you travel internationally, it can be even more challenging in certain ways. A few years ago, I was in Zanzibar, and I come whirling in and think about that short, white, blonde woman in a chair. That doesn't probably happen every day, so I got out, and with my gift of gab, I start to talk to the agent, so friendly, and I asked about their culture and so forth, and I noticed there wasn't a jet bridge, so I had to kind of say, Not only do you have to lift my chair, I could use some helping getting out the steps. We got to spend about an hour together while we waited for the flight, and it was the most magnificent hour. Our perspective changed for both of us that day, and once I got on the flight, he patted me on the back and wished me well. And I thank him so much. And again, I think he's going to remember that experience more than when I first came in. And there was a little bit hesitation. And as you notice, I get a lot of help. I would not be where I am today if it was not for my family, my friends, my colleagues, and many strangers that help me every single day of my life. And it is important that we all have a support system. Asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. Applause. We all need help throughout our lifetime, but it is just as important that we are part of other people's support system. We must adopt the way of giving back. We all obviously have a role to play in our own successness. But think about the role we have to play in other people's successes, just like people do for me every single day. It is vitally important that we help each other, because society is increasingly placing people in silos based on bias and ideologies, and we must look past the surface and be confronted with the truth that none of us are what you can see. There is more to us than that, and we are all dealing with things that you can't see. So living a life free of judgment allows all of us to share those experiences together and have totally different perspectives, just like the couple of people I mentioned early in my stories. So remember, the only shoes you truly can walk in are your own. I cannot walk in yours. I know you can walk in my size once. Laughter. But you can try. But we can do something better than that. With compassion, courage, and understanding, we can walk side by side and support one another, and think about how society can change if we all do that instead of judging on only what you can see. Thank you. Applause. Thank you. It's about my recording. Thank you.